Okay, so um, I am making another video right away about movie recommendations. The Power of Christ compelled me this morning. I was like, I gotta do this because um, I've noticed that a lot of the kids, again, these are in reaction to what movies the reactor kids are reacting to. I call them kids because they're way younger than me. Um, but I've decided that they're, in terms of war pictures, they're reacting to the wrong ones. So I wanted to highlight some that I think properly show how great it is, how great war is, and how much it benefits everyone, and especially those people, how their lives are impacted um, once they are done serving their country. So the first movie, I'm just going to plow through them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them. The first movie is The Best Years of Our Lives from 1946. It stars a lot of big names at the time, like Myrna Loy, Dana Andrews. Um, they This is obviously a black and white movie. It's back in the olden days, and it's thought of as a classic. I assume it won some Oscars. I'm not sure, or at least was nominated. Um, it was directed by William Wyler, and after that, I'm going to just move right on to Coming Home from 1978. It's directed by Hal Ashby, who directed a movie a lot of people my age like called Harold and Maude. I never understood why that became a big hit, but people my age might know that director from that movie. But the stars of that are Jane Fonda and Jon Voight. Now, Jon Voight, you may know as Angelina's dad if you're a younger person. And Jane Fonda, you may know as Henry Fonda's daughter if you're an older person. But if you're an older person, you've heard of this movie, so you already know what I'm talking about. The next movie I'm going to bring up is animated, and it is Grave of the Fireflies, and it is from 1988. And a trigger warning, this is the saddest movie ever created. And there was one reactor who's a very sensitive kid. His name is Nick. I would not like him to ever watch this movie because he's too sensitive. The next film is Born on the 4th of July from 1989, directed by Oliver Stone, starring Tom Cruise. And I do believe Tom may have been nominated for it. I'm not sure, but there's what I call a movie star tax with the Academy, where if you're too successful, I think they don't like to give you awards, and Tom Cruise suffers from that. But this is one of his best performances. After that movie, I'm going to recommend Thank You for Your Service, which is very recent, from 2017, starring Miles Teller. And let me just check real quick. Okay, so that movie is about soldiers who fought in the Iraq War. Now, I'm moving on at this point to, I'm going to recommend a couple of movies if you're somebody who loves war. These would be the villains. These would be the people who were draft dodgers and who were plagued with the common sense to not want to be put into a situation where they would be forced to kill another human being or be killed themselves. So these people were very nefarious, bad dudes. This first movie I'm going to recommend is a film called Greetings from 1968, and that was directed by Brian De Palma, and it stars Robert De Niro. Now, this was Robert De Niro in that short window where he was really good looking, before he started working with, people like Martin Scorsese. This is when he worked with, great directors like Brian De Palma, and, he worked with Coppola on that, the Godfather Part 2. So I'm not sure if, working with Scorsese affected his looks, but the next movie I want to do in my little section here of the bad dudes in war is Hair. This is a musical directed by Milos Forman. You've heard of it. You know about it. It starred Treat Williams and I'm forgetting his last name. Hang on. John Savage. I almost said John Saxon by accident. And Beverly D'Angelo. And they basically are lazy bums who just don't enjoy killing people and just want to like be friends and stuff. Okay, so moving on to one honorable mention. I'm going to bring up this movie that was little seen, nobody knows about. It's called Attack of the Clones. It is part of this larger series called Star Wars. In Attack of the Clones, and at this point I'm going to do a little bit of spoilers for this film because I'm explaining why I'm including it in a movie about war pictures. In Attack of the Clones, you have a situation where normally peaceful Jedi and are drawn into war because somebody sneaky created a clone army for them. And in a situation where you have a false flag event like that, people went against their better nature and did the wrong thing, and next thing you know, you have an empire. I believe it was in this movie where the great mind Jar Jar Binks gave emergency powers to Senator Palpatine, who was a great guy and hero. And, you know, because we love our senators, we love our government, and they always have our best interests, so you should always give them emergency powers so you can have a totalitarian regime. And those are the war pictures I would like to recommend to people, because I just feel like those are being overlooked by some of the people watching, you know, doing these reactions of war pictures, and they may get the wrong idea about war instead of these very encouraging, hopeful movies. So thank you, and I hope you have enjoyed this nonsense. And really, if you haven't seen any of these movies, I recommend all of them. I really do. Attack of the Clones, honestly, out of the prequels, was my favorite. It had a very film noir feel to it, and it's because of the mystery of who made these stupid things. But yeah, so there we are. And I will be back soon with some more recommendations that you may or may not want. Later, taters.